So the live show is obviously very important, especially when you're going into new towns, in front of new crowds. You gotta have that live show. Like, you've really gotta be developed.
The live show, I tell my bands, is, aside from the songs, is number one. It's 50-50. It's your songs and your live show. If your live show is your only way to sell, like, it's the most, it's the strongest way to sell yourself to a crowd, more than just your songs. Yeah, a radio, radio can push your songs, MySpace can push your songs, your websites can push your songs, but if you, the thing is, like, everyone can power those songs, everyone could rewrite those songs, no one could redo what you're doing live. Like, it's one of a kind. Like, this is the one way to sell everybody, is like, okay, here's what we can play, but this is how we can play it, and that's what the biggest promotion is, a live show. Because anyone who's seen a live band, if it's a phenomenal live show, you know for a fact you're gonna be thinking about it, buying anything. It's number one promotion over music videos, over everything else, is your live show. It's so important.
I mean, obviously, if you have a crowd of 2,400 people and you sell 700 CDs, you had a hell of a live show.
It was
my man.
I don't even know how that happened. I just remember walking back to our merch table because we had our merch girl there. And I just remember being like,
was she cute?
She was cute.
I mean, like, really cute? Like, does that help?
She wasn't. The thing is, she was cute in the fact, like, she was like a cute girlfriend. She wasn't like anything that I would be like, damn, like.
Right.
What's
Like,
up,
I'm just gonna go buy the CD just to talk to her.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that later on in our career we realized that all the very, I guess, horny young kids at the shows, they're looking to talk to girls, and so we're just like, we're smart to that. We can get a cute merch girl.
Sure.
We'll sell a couple extra shirts.
Another good idea.
It really. Another good idea. That is like a fantastic idea.
No.
I mean, you will increasingly make a couple $100 extra if you got a cute merch girl.
Hey, so it goes.
But so yeah, I went over to our merch table and I was like, so what's going on? Like, how many CDs do we sell? I remember we pressed 1,000 for, and that was like our fresh batch. Like, we just pressed it. We just figured we'll have it available if we needed it. But we're like, yeah, cool. We'll sell like maybe like 80 or 100. And I just remember she's like, we're at like 550. I was like, oh my god. I was like, are you kidding? I mean, we, like, for teenagers walking away with that kind of loot. I mean, I was like, psh.
Did you even get paid to do the show?
Like, yeah, we got paid. I was like, I'm a millionaire. Leave me alone. Yeah, I got money, guys.
Yeah, it's done.
I'm Metallica.
Yeah,
leave me alone.
It's on now. What would you say is one of the biggest downfalls that bands have in getting out on the road? What are some of the things that you say, hey man, I've seen some bands collapse and here's why? Yeah.
Man, I mean, just right off the bat, a lot of bands are very optimistic when they hit the road. Take for example, you get an email. This is back, and I'll say this is back in the day compared to current. Back in the day, you would get an email. You wouldn't get like a MySpace. You wouldn't see MySpace plays. You wouldn't get MySpace messages. You get emails because you're like, here's our song on hardcoremp3.com, and here's where you can email us. And you would get an email of 2 people from St. Louis saying, oh my god, you're like the best band I've ever heard. Another one saying, oh my god, like you have to come to St. Louis. Right there you have 3 to 4 people from St. Louis who are just like obsessed with your band. So automatically everyone's like, the whole band becomes optimistic, being like, man, we're gonna kill it in St. Louis when we go there. Like, we have a huge fan base. We're like Metallica in St. Louis, and everyone in the band's like, yeah, we're going to St. Louis. And then you go to St. Louis, and it's those 4 people, and maybe they're friends, and it's 10 people, and you spent maybe, I don't know, $400 round trip just to get there. And then you get there and it's just those kids who are just like, yeah, like you're really awesome, like this is cool, I tried to bring my friends but they didn't really want to come because they don't like this kind of music. And you sit there and you're just like, oh my god. And that's a big downfall, is where people think that just because they get a couple emails from this city, maybe someone from that city saying, "Oh, you guys are sick. I'm gonna put you up in my house and everything." And it's like, "Oh, guys, we got a show and we got a house." And it's one kid at a show and his house. So it's just like you went to sleep over some dude's house, which is kind of weird. So
Right.
You know,
you
you kind of
try to play tummy sticks with you. You're good.
Right. Yeah, we're poking around. It's none of that.
Right. But I mean, but in that circumstance, though, in that circumstance, how do you keep the band going? Like, because everybody has that, right? Everybody has a show where they're like, whoa.
It's the drive that the band has. If the band has a lot of drive inside of them, if they're like, you know what, we'll keep eating garbage outside of like Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, there was time, like, I remember we would go dumpster diving for donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. You know, donut stores like Dunkin' Donuts or bakeries, they dump everything out at the end of the night. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the big. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I remember in Providence.
That's another gym.
I remember in Providence, Rhode Island. I'll never forget. We played Providence, and it was one of our first shows there. And we were just like, oh, we don't really know what to expect. The line was like wrapped around this place. I mean, it was unbelievable. We're like, whoa. So it was like, all right, cool. We're feeling, everyone's feeling good. Good. And then in the parking lot was a Dunkin' Donuts. We're like, yeah, let's go get donuts. And then we went inside, and it was starting to close. And then someone was just, some random fan was just like, he's like, if you jump over that fence, you can grab a whole bag of donuts. And we're just like, no, for free? And he's like, they're fresh. Like, get them. They're big bag of donuts. Like 2 big bags of donuts. Like, I mean, garbage bags of donuts.
Wow.
So we hopped over. We opened the bags up. No, true to what he said, there is just bags of donuts.
Right.
I mean, like jelly and pink frosted and like these great sprinkles with these cute little chocolate chips.
I'm getting hungry, dog. Yeah, let's get some donuts, man.
And there's these donuts, and I remember we were like, yes, we hit the jackpot, and we're throwing these bags back over. We're feeding everybody. We're like, yeah, it's time to eat Dunkin' Donuts on us. That's right. It's like there was those times and that happens a lot of times. Like that really helps. That kind of stuff, and like there's a lot of adventures that kind of happen along the way. So it's like all these little things. It's like you find things in each show that keep the band driving and keep going. You know, it's like a tiny little example like that. It's just like it's really something to look forward to. I mean, when you're in the van for 6 hours driving, you get really, really bored. I mean, you don't even know what you're saying half the time. I mean, I remember a conversation with just me and our guitarist Alex. It would just be like, for 6 hours straight, be like, all right, what would you do? Would you rather put a pin in your belly button or poop on your mom? And I'm like, ah! It's like, that's how bored we were. And no sleep, no food. We're just saying retarded crap. So there's a lot of things that like, it's all those things. It's just all builds to the bigger picture, which like, it keeps that drive going for a band, you know?
Yeah, it kind of keeps you guys tight.
It does. It's more of a, to be honest, it's like an adventure. You're going out on an adventure with your friends, and I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? Tell me one person who wouldn't want to go like traveling on an adventure, not knowing where you're going to be that night with your friends. I mean,